Okay, so I just realized I mentioned in my intro video that I have lupus, but I haven't really said anything about it. Well, let's start. What is lupus? Lupus is an autoimmune disease, and what that means is your immune system, bless your heart, attacks your organs. It doesn't attack them all at once, thank goodness, because it could not deal with that, but it can be pretty severe, and it can affect more than one organ. There are different types of lupus, but the one I have is kidney related, which happens to be the most prevalent in lupus patients. How is lupus diagnosed? Through blood tests, but you'll see physical symptoms like the infamous butterfly rash, which is a rash that spans across the cheeks and nose like a butterfly. And symptoms also include achy joints, fever, fatigue, hair loss, and symptoms related to the organ that's affected. For me, it's blood in the urine, swollen ankles because my kidneys aren't filtering properly, and fatigue. Who can get lupus? Anyone can get lupus. It's not contagious. It's known to be environmentally caused as well as genetics, which they recently found the gene for. But lupus is more common in African American women than in Caucasian women. Basically, everyone that's not white. Asian, Pacific Island, Hispanic, Latino, Native American, Native Hawaiian descent. They're all at risk for developing lupus, again, possibly due to genetics. Most people with lupus are diagnosed between the ages of 15 and 44. For women, that's childbearing age, but it can occur at any age. In fact, I was the youngest person at the time to be diagnosed with lupus at the ripe old age of 5. I don't know why I'm proud of that. But you'll often see social media posts about autoimmune diseases being linked to trauma, but my theory is trauma equals stress. Lupus is often triggered by stress. So yeah, I guess, trauma, whatever. What is the treatment for lupus? There's a lot of medicines out there now than when I was first diagnosed. The treatment was usually chemotherapy and heavy doses of steroids, but today there's different options for people, and scientists are coming out with what some would call a cure. But I always take that with a grain of salt because you never know what pharmacies are pushing and what the FDA is pushing. A lot of drugs are claiming to be helpful, usually tested on lupus patients with mild symptoms. So unless I see data on it helping people that are resistant to certain treatments or are going through a serious flare-up, I tend to not cling on to the idea of a cure or a miracle drug. The goal is to keep the immune system low so that it can't attack the body. So with that comes a compromised immune system and a higher risk of infection. So I can't be around large crowds usually, but sometimes I cheat. When I get a serious flare, I have to get chemotherapy, which goes on for a period of 2 to 3 years usually. Luckily, the chemo drug they gave me was not invasive, and I didn't lose my hair, and that's why I'm really vain and attached to my hair. Another thing that people don't know too is that there are so many side effects with the medications that we have to take. I have stomach issues. Being on steroids for most of my life has practically killed my gut, and so you'll see in some of my videos that I'm trying to figure that out. For the longest time I thought I had a gluten intolerance, but it could be something else, and it could very well be caused by the medications I've been taking all my life. I've also had cataract surgery that was caused by long-term use of steroids. So sometimes you'll see a twinkle in my eye because they were treated differently. And then I also recently got diagnosed with osteoporosis from taking steroids. Steroids is a crazy drug. It works really fast to lower the immune system, but it has so many side effects. But luckily with supplements, I was able to regrow my bones. How long do lupus patients live? As long as they take care of themselves and eat healthy, sleep enough, keep stress levels low, and exercise, we can live a normal, thriving lifespan. Like right now, I feel very healthy. I go to the gym every day. I try to get at least 7 hours of sleep. Meditation also helps to keep stress levels down, but that's for everyone. If you're a beginner, you can check out my meditation video for beginners down below. And And I also wanted to note that usually with autoimmune diseases, you tend to get other illnesses or are susceptible to other autoimmune diseases. And I like to joke that it's a buy one, get one. For instance, a lot of lupus patients get rheumatoid arthritis, which can be very painful. Usually when it's humid outside or too cold, my joints get very achy and I feel very fatigued. When I have a serious flare, it's even worse, where it's hard for me to open doors or get out of bed. But as you can see, for the most part, I look pretty normal. Usually no one can tell I'm dealing with an illness or with lupus unless I say something or I'm going through a serious life-threatening flare. Then yes, you can definitely tell. Another autoimmune disease I was recently diagnosed with is narcolepsy, which you can check out in the link below where I talk about narcolepsy and the myths. I also wanted to add that I will be posting another video about dating and lupus and all of the challenges that I've had to face in the dating world, and as someone who is older and at childbearing age, I talk about a little bit about pregnancy and how that works with people with lupus. Can lupus patients have kids? Yes, we can have kids. However, it is considered a high-risk pregnancy. And also, women tend to hit menopause earlier than normal healthy women. So that's something to think about if you want kids in the future. For me, I am on the fence about it just because I don't know how my body is going to take it. I'm more so for adoption at this point. But yeah, it's more about if my body can handle it or not, how it's going to be after I have a baby, because, you know, your body is still healing. And also it's high risk too because you can have spontaneous miscarriage. So there's a lot of things to think about. It's not impossible. A lot of women with lupus have healthy pregnancies and have healthy babies. And then you also run the risk of a baby having lupus. It's a very, very small risk, I think, don't quote me, but it's like 0.03%. Yes, you can pass it down. Also, a lot of the medications that lupus patients have to take can be very serious for the fetus, or can be risky for the fetus. Like a drug that I'm on right now called mycophenolate is very dangerous for a baby. So you don't want to be on that drug if you're thinking of conceiving. It can lead to all sorts of birth defects. And that is something that I need to be on at all times. I have been off of it before, but I tend to get really bad flare-ups when I'm off of it. So that's something I would have to talk to my doctor about, or you would need to talk to your doctor about if it is safe to get pregnant. Another thing to consider, you can always consider a surrogate. And that is all I have for today. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you have any questions for me, feel free to comment down below. I'd love to continue to spread awareness about this disease that seems to be more prevalent nowadays, and continue to support those dealing with lupus. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to follow my journey, as well as follow for healthy recipes that incorporate a lot of healthy herbs and spices and are gluten-free and lactose-friendly. Thank you. Bye.